This is Colin O'Keefe here with Kelly Hoey at the Practicing Law Institute seminar on social media for client development. You've sat in on most of the day and been part of more than one panel, I think. But just what was always interesting to me was the number of people that you've been connected with today. Everyone seems to know kind of who you are and what you do. How do you manage the different relationships that you have with people through social media, and how do you meet different people through social media?
Ooh, great questions, Colin. For me, let's just do it by venue, online venue. For me, Twitter is a variety of cocktail parties that I attend. So there's people I sit and talk to on Twitter about corporate governance. There's people like your dad who I'm talking to about blogging, lawyers and client development, how they're engaging with people. But it's very social. For me, what we're doing right now talking, this is Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
LinkedIn, that's an opportunity, I think, for all professionals to put their credentials out there, to display them in the best light, to put out there what you want people to know. And as your dad has tweeted, that I've said before, LinkedIn is not just your resume.
Mm-hmm.
Put your credentials, put things, opine on things, put that information out there. So that's kind of how I use it in those two venues, and put out information I think that people are going to be interested in, that's helpful to them, and more importantly, particularly with Twitter, just talk to people.
Definitely, and that's one of the things that we always try to get across, or I personally try to get across when I explain social media to different types of people, is that it has a lot of buzz around it right now, obviously, and people say, oh, what is it? How does it do this? And the best way to explain it is, well, it's a lot of the stuff that really everyone already does anyway, and it's just a different tool for doing those types of things.
But exactly, you said it's the tool, and I think for all the buzzwords and all the people who say they're social media experts, you have to separate who knows the tools. There's a lot of people out there who know how to use the tools in the sense of the platform, the infrastructure. Your dad doing the searches today and all of those. I mean, there was things I never even knew existed in terms of searches. So there's people who know how to, I want to say, customize a Facebook page, do that sort of thing. But when you're talking about using social media, it's, can you talk to people? Can you engage? Do you like people, and do you want to hear them and listen to them? And that's really, I think, where the art comes in.
Definitely. If you were going to leave, there's so many different people who don't understand that it is really what they're doing already when they go to a cocktail party and they meet somebody. They're not just walking in and shouting, I know lots of stuff, talk to me. You walk up and you gradually engage people and you listen to what they have to say. What advice would you give people who aren't familiar with the fact that it's just a tool? Like, how do you get people to ease into it, and how do you get people comfortable with these new tools?
Well, first of all, I always, when I'm working with people, is decide where they should be. Where are the networking venues, whether it's online or in person? Should they be speaking at a PLI conference, or should they be tweeting about a PLI conference? Where should they be? And if it decide that they're going to be on social media, is really explaining it to them in those terms and what the benefit is. For myself, starting out on Twitter, I listened a lot. I followed media. I got it as my news feed of sources. I started to follow law firms. I was interested in what law firms were doing. I was doing the alumni program at White & Case. So what are people talking about with alumni? And gradually, and I followed a lot of people who were the so-called social media experts to see how they were doing it, and watching them, and then gathering my voice. And I would just say the same thing to somebody else. It's like, okay, dip your foot in there. Here's some best practice. If you're going to be on LinkedIn, get your profile completely up before you're out there trying to, I always say, build up all your connections and participate in groups and all that. I mean, there would be my sort of one best practice on that one. But otherwise, just going and watching and just kind of feeling it out, and take your time. There's such a rush. Oh my God, we have to be on social media. Take your time and figure out how it works best for you.
Perfect. That's all the questions that I had. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.